today we've got a special treat, and many of you, maybe you've been a part of the Inspire family for quite some time. You know this guy. You've of course seen him around. He's one of our favorite, he's one of our favorite pastors, but he's more so one of our favorite people, and he's also a lot of fun, and it's my honor, my privilege to welcome to Can We Talk, Randy Kimura. Welcome.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here. I can't believe I'm here on Can We Talk. Well, sitting next to you.
It's a very exclusive roll call. You know, it's not many people get to go on this rap sheet, and you got the invitation. And
well, I'm honored. Really blessed to be here.
We're honored to have you. If you've known or seen Pastor Randy, he's been a part of the church, really honestly, from the very beginning. And we'll talk about that here in just a bit. But I know one of my fondest memories when I first came to InspireChurch was just seeing this elf on the screen years ago in the middle of some chairs. And I thought, that guy really loves Jesus because he is just going for it. And I love it. I love it. I think you just recently put that costume on too. Not too long ago, right?
I did for Christmas, and we did a snack party and those kinds of things. And I don't know why I get that elf suit, but I guess it's my size, and so I get stereotyped, and I am the elf.
I don't think anyone else can fit it, honestly. Okay, so you, of course, were a part of Inspire from really the very beginning. Tell us about. We, of course, have been able to read and hear about Pastor Mike's growth from being a youth pastor, Hope Chapel Kaneohe, of course, answering this call that God placed before him and Pastor Lisa, and, of course, making the shift over to waikele. Where do you fall in this whole journey?
Yeah, I first met Pastor Mike at Hope Chapel Kaneohe, and I gave my life to the Lord, and I think it went for about a year. And we weren't really connected yet. And out of the blue, Pastor Lisa came out and after service and stopped us and said, "Hey, how you doing?" I don't know if she's done that to you. But,
I love that.
Well, we've done it. Well, that's amazing because it got us involved. She asked us if we could pray about serving in kids church. Now, when I say we, it's me and my girlfriend, who became my wife. And now we're 27 years married. But she asked us to pray about joining the kids team. And so the following week, we totally forgot about it. We're sitting in the back row, ready to exit. And out of nowhere, Wonder Woman appears.
Come on.
Pastor Lisa. Come on, now you guys know if you watch the movies. But she came out and she said, "Hey, are you guys good? Have you guys prayed about becoming part of Kids Church?" And I looked her straight in the eye and I said, "Absolutely, we prayed.
Absolutely, we prayed.
And we're going to serve." And Jocelyn at the time, she looked at me and she was like, "No, I don't want to do kids." And long story short, the following week, we were serving at kids.
Wow.
And it became, just something that we just loved.
Yeah.
We just loved. I was the funny one. I was the goofy one. Yeah. And my wife was the disciplinarian, and she was, going for it. But I had fun.
Yeah.
And so that's how we kind of got started. And then Pastor Mike got the call. So they invite us to Connect Group. They invite us to serve, outreach, basketball tournaments and whatnot. And we said yes. We said yes to everything. He said, "Yep, yes." And I think after a while, I became on speed dial for everybody. Wow. Because we started getting asked for outreach, kids' church, worship. Yes, we were on the worship team. And it was so funny because every time I was there singing, I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but I would check my mic and say, "I can't hear myself." And I said, can you bring me up a little bit more? And he said, "No, you're fine. We're good right there." And anyway, long story short, we were on the worship team as well. And we just started serving wherever God wanted.
Worship team is, I think everyone's on the worship team, honestly. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so we're here at Waikele Elementary.
Yep.
And I love hearing the accounts from back then. We just had our 20th anniversary this past September last year, and I love that whole month because we were able to get a glimpse a bit more about, and I've read about it, of course, in Pound for Pound, and I've heard about it, but I loved hearing the accounts of the small things that made it such a special place at such an early stage. I think one thing I remember, I think it was you, or maybe it was, I forgot who else was telling me about, but it was like the breakfasts that you guys would prepare.
Yeah. Every weekend, I think this was maybe in maybe year 3, 4, around there. We started something where we cook breakfast for everyone on Sunday. So we had a team. They brought their wok. We bought the eggs from Costco or wherever it was. And we got Portuguese sausage. We had the rice. Are you getting hungry right now?
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I am. And but we did that every week, and we charged $1 for pretty much a mini plate lunch. And every week the lines would grow and grow and grow, and everyone would sit in that. It was that bus shelter where people get picked up. Again, we were at the elementary school, and the bus shelter would put all the cafeteria tables out, and people would just sit and connect and fellowship and stay. And that's where the church really grew together. We became unified. We knew each other's stories, what we were praying for, etc. And it was a really great time. But I miss those times where we're cooking and making food and breakfast and stuff.
What's one unique memory you have of those days?
Yeah, specifically for that, I remember one weekend there was a storm or there was a hurricane watch or something, and the electricity went out.
Oh, wow.
The whole community, I forget if it was the whole island or whatnot, but no one was doing breakfast. No one was cooking. No one able to cook. And at church, we were cooking and we were serving breakfast. But not only that, on that weekend, because we couldn't use the cafeteria, because all the electricity is out, we turned that bus shelter into our service. And we had service in a like on the dime.
Wow.
And it was amazing because it was so real. It was so fresh. Of course, Pastor Mike was himself, and the Spirit just moved, and I'll never forget it. It was like, wow, we didn't say no. We didn't close the doors and say, you know what, that would have been the easy way out.
Right.
We say, you know what can we do to still make church happen?
Yeah.
And that's what happened, and I'll never forget it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fast forward, we're here now. I feel like that same vein of reaching people from those early days, I think that's what makes Inspire so unique in that sense. It's a relatively big church, but it's also, I think it still has that spirit of, well, we're here to do whatever it takes to reach someone for Christ.
Yeah.
Even if it's a bit unorthodox in some ways or something we've never tried before. There's just so many different things that I feel like since then that we've just gone into, and I feel like we've reached people so much more than I know that I could have ever imagined, because of just that spirit of Pastor Mike talked about it in this series that we're in right now, the whatever, whenever attitude, and just being available in that sense. With that, of course, we want to talk about outreach, and I feel like in so many different ways, that same spirit of reaching people, it was birthed there. Honestly, it was birthed out of this desire to not only reach people that for Christ, of course, and to reach people with practical needs, but also there's a even deeper a goal in the sense that people would feel like they were loved, like feel that they were special, feel like that they belonged somewhere. Tell us about your involvement with Inspire Outreach and how that's kind of helped, really how that birthed from a very early beginning for the church.
Yeah, so from the very beginning, Pastor Mike's heart was to reach more people.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, we're going to do things that might not be church-wise, but it's going to reach people where they're at and introduce them to Jesus. And so we did luau's. I think we did. We did a luau in year 3. And I think we did maybe about 800 people that came to the event.
Wow.
It was free. It was a free event, and we equipped them with tickets to invite their friends. So they brought them. It looked like an authentic ticket. Wow. And so, they brought that ticket, and they came for, of course, lunch, and it was Hawaiian food. We did Hawaiian food. We did entertainment. We did dancing. I didn't dance. Don't worry. People stayed. But we had hula, Tahitian, all kinds of things. We had the brothers, and I'm sure you guys know them.
Yes.
And all these guys, and we did an amazing also sermon and message. People gave their life to Jesus, and we went back in and we did it again and again and again. We did another luau in year 5, and that one we served over 1,000 meals.
Wow.
And you got to see that the church at that time was maybe about 500 to 600 people, and over 1,000 meals were given out that day. And again, the church grew. So the church continued to grow, but our heart for outreach was always there. And that's why today you see it in the form of more locations. You know that we started Inspire Kailua, Inspire Waimea.
Yeah.
Before that, Honolulu, Mililani, of course, Metro Manila. Again, we bought land in Kapolei and so much more.
Right.
And why? Because we know that we need to reach people. We need to continue to do that.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of been, it's me now.
Yeah.
And now I oversee outreach for the last maybe a year and a half now. And I've always loved outreach because it takes me back to the school. It takes me back to reaching people for Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm not an inside the church kind of person. I want to be outside. And so I want to connect with our community. And so that's giving me a heart to see. And during COVID, what happened was, I got the what do you call that? Those guys run with the baton.
The baton.
Yeah, the baton. I got the baton, and everyone was in their homes. Everyone was retreating, and no one was outside. And so God put on my heart to do a mobile food truck, kind of like the Banana Man or the Ice Cream Man in the community. And so what we did is, instead of waiting for people to come to church because they had a need for food, what we did is we took food to the communities that really needed it.
Yeah.
So it's been over a year, and it's been amazing to see, how we've helped in a little way. For us, maybe it was very large for them. And along the way, we've met a lot of people. Prayers been answered. Communities have been reached, and we're doing that in Pupu'ole and Aniani.
Right.
And so much more. But our heart to reach people is always going to be part of Inspire Church.
Yeah. You mentioned about the pandemic. It was such a difficult time for people to, of course, to go through what I feel like the whole, everyone was kind of going through. It was a different shift in their lives, and how they reacted to it varied amongst people. And for some, it was a very difficult reality to face, that substantially they weren't going to receive much than they were before. And as you even were delivering, goods and services, I remember we were doing even a prayer thing out here for the church, and then we had outreach as well, doing items throughout these communities. What was one thing that you are just so proud that outreach was a part of? I mean that in the sense of what was like the biggest thing you saw as a ministry that people were specific to, like, the pandemic during that?
Again, during that time, everyone retreated. Everyone was in their house, mask on, everything, right?
Yeah.
And when I believe the 3 biggest months of last year was October, November, and December.
Yeah.
And what we did is we said, hey, can we meet the needs of the community?
Yeah.
Can we meet them there first?
Yeah.
And then, of course, introduce, the gospel in Jesus Christ. But what are the immediate needs? So in October, we did that. We do Halloween kind of night, Hallelujah night or something, or Light the Night. And that event attracted so many people. We did a drive-through. In fact, the cars are lined up to Waianae. Maybe not, but
it was a long line.
It was a long line.
I was there, and I just impromptu set up my trunk because my nephews are in town, and we just thought it was going to be a great event, but just to see how much people really wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just to see them to connect with somebody, another human, and not 28 feet away. And then we did in November for Thanksgiving. The church was amazing, and they brought turkeys and basically, long story short, 1,000 meals were distributed on Thanksgiving Day.
Right.
So I forget to count for amount of servants, but there were a lot of servants. In fact, we did emo style.
I remember
turkey.
seeing this. I remember walking down the stairs and just seeing like a multitude of people I've never really seen before. And I'm like, is everyone here for the Thanksgiving outreach? Are you serious? This is amazing.
Yeah, it was incredible. We've never done that before. We had 80 turkeys in the emu. We had to dig out the ground and bring all the supplies and keavi wood and stuff, and just the whole team, how they rallied behind it to serve another person, another family who possibly maybe might not have had a great Thanksgiving like that, but we did that. And then in December, what happened is we did Bless a Child.
Right.
And we sponsored over 300 gifts for three schools. And it was amazing because we had a little drive-through for them, and they drove through and picked up their gifts. And it was so cool to see people from the communities we were already serving.
Right.
Pupuole and Aniani came by, and it was Johnny or whoever it was. It was like, hey, I know you from the community. And we reconnected, and they were so thankful for the church. They were so thankful that the church was there in their time of need. And I got to say, those 3 months were the best yet. And I can't wait for, how God's going to use us in the future. I know He has plans, and we've got plans as well. So
exciting. I know that you mentioned the dream team. I feel like that was, for me, something that I watched really blossom. I mean, they were serving already, and have been a part of this team, some of them for years. Yeah. But I feel like it kicked up a whole different notch because I saw them just really taking ownership and saying, you know what, this is like I'm a part of this, and I'm here to help reach people. I'm not just here to help give a lending hand. I'm actually there's a purpose behind what I'm doing right now. Yeah, I love watching that. That was amazing.
So good. And specifically for Thanksgiving, we could have played the safe thing and said, you know what, it's Thanksgiving. We won't do this because we're with family and friends. And this year we just felt that God saying, go do it. Yeah. And maybe it's your first time. Yeah, trust me for it all. But we trusted Him, and God showed up. And I asked the team later, how was it? He goes, oh, that was a big thing that we did. We never did this before. But they said we would do it all over again. Yeah. And so it was very encouraging to hear that.
That's awesome. I think that's one thing, especially when we're talking about online ministry, and it's easy to think that because you're so far away, if you're watching here from a different state or from a different island or a different country altogether, and you might think, what can I do? I mean, that's awesome. I love that you guys are doing that there. But I mean, I'd love to be a part of that. But how? And I think it comes down to what you were just saying is finding a local need, finding something very practical that you can meet, whether it's through a team or with you and a couple of friends, and fulfilling it with what God's giving you. You don't have to cook turkeys for thousands of people, but if the Lord puts it on your heart, I mean, hey, go ahead and do so. But it really just can come down to a very simple yes of saying, that's something that I can fulfill. Yeah. And if that's going to help bless somebody else, I can do that. I can do that.
Absolutely.
What's one thing that you hope to do? Like, give me something that's like, man, I can't wait. One day we're going to do that. We're going to do that.
Well, it's interesting because I just talked to one of our leaders for outreach through InspireChurch, and she attended a build out. So there's a tiny home project out in Waimanalo, and we got to be a part of it, building tiny homes. Not this tiny, but really, a little bit bigger, where people can live in. And they were out there, and it was at that moment she said, "This is where I'm supposed to be." Wow. And they're building homes out there, and people are being reached for Jesus. Of course, immediate needs are being given, but it's a call on us to really just reach more people. Right. And when I say reach more people, I'm not sure how God is going to use us like specifically, but I know that we're just going to be available and serve. And so this project has come up, but we just want to reach more people in not only here. I want to reach more people in Waimea. We want to reach more people in Mililani for Jesus. How that looks like, we're praying about that, but we're excited.
Yeah.
And we know that our church is a generous church.
Yeah.
A church of serving. That's our culture. And so presenting opportunities for them to be generous and to use what God has given them in the form of time, talent, resources, gifting, and then launching them and going, okay, go and do it. You know, I have one interesting story. During COVID, we bought a shave ice machine. I don't know if you know. I hope you know.
You guys.
And when we started Kimura Shave Ice, and it's been amazing. So the heart of that, start of that is that we bought this shave ice machine off of Facebook. And we started. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know how to do it, whatever. But we bought the shave ice machine with hopes of just blessing our community. So what happened was, I think in a span of 2 weeks, we had bought syrup, we had bought the cones, we bought the cups and all that good stuff, the spoons and everything, and we started making ice and opened our doors, the garage doors, and we started giving out shave ice.
Ooh.
Yeah, shave ice, ice cream, mochi balls, Li-Hing powder, condensed milk, whatever it is, whatever they wanted.
I almost moved to the neighborhood, you guys. Almost moved to the neighborhood.
You can, you can come by.
I was looking on Zillow.
But we were doing it every Sunday.
Wow.
And it's like, how does that fit into outreach?
Right.
It's exactly what it is. It's like, it's a hot community. We serve shave ice. And what we do is we just invite people to come over. So our neighbors now know that when the garage door is open, then you can come by. It's interesting because at 7 o'clock, sometimes people, hey, you guys got shave ice? No, oh, no, but let me take you.
Yeah.
But we serve shave ice. What can you do where you live, and how can you be a blessing to others so that, you know, more people would know Jesus?
Yeah.
So.
That's so good. Hey, if you are in Honolulu, near the Diamond Head area, and God leads you to build a shave ice ministry in your yard or garage, just send us an email. I'll come by and patron. Very happily, we'll do so. That's so awesome. This is, of course, here at Inspire Church and the Inspire Outreach, and being all a part of that. What does Randy Kimura do on his day off? What does he do for fun?
Yeah. I love knitting, and no, just kidding. I don't love knitting. I love sleeping, but I also like fishing. I like fishing. Okay. I love taking pictures. I love going. I love diving for shells. My daughter introduced this to me, and she's like she's like 4'10". I don't know. My daughter might be mad. Maybe she's 4'11". I don't know. She's not that tall, but she's a diver, and she started diving for shells during pandemic, and so
she's very good at it.
Yeah, she got us interested, and we started doing that. So I like going to the beach and just looking for shells, fishing, whatever in the water, and that's kind of like what I do. Spend time with the family, of course.
Yeah, you mentioned you have a daughter. Okay.
Yes, daughter.
So what's your family? Who else?
We have a son, Aaron. He's 9th grade and doing well. Yesterday was his first day of school.
Wow,
so that's cool. And Kai just graduated from high school, and so some transition. We got older kids, and but we're very proud of them. And
that's awesome. Good. What's you said you fish, right?
Yes.
What's your dream catch?
My dream catch is anything over 5 pounds.
Come on, everybody! Just not asking for anything specific. We just want something bigger and better for us.
No, I want the big one. I want the mahi-mahi.
Really?
Come on, I want to go out. Anybody got a boat? Take me on your boat.
Mahi-mahi.
And let's get a mahi-mahi or something big. Big papiulua. Come on.
That's awesome.
Anyway, good fun.
Last question. Somebody, there's somebody watching who may feel like they have nothing to offer. Maybe they feel like I love being a part of Inspire, but I don't know if I have anything to offer. I don't know if I can join a team, or I don't know if I can have anything to give to like a serving group or even outreach. What would be something you would encourage them with?
You know, I never thought I would be used in the way that I'm used today.
Yeah.
I never saw it. But somebody else saw it in me.
Yeah.
And they invited me. But I really want to encourage you to start serving.
Yeah.
Where is Jesus working? And follow, go, help out and serve, and find out if this is the place that God is calling you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a need. Maybe it's outside of the church. Maybe it's inside. Maybe it's something you do on your own, or maybe it's organized by the church.
Right.
Whatever it is, take a step. Just really take a step and start doing it. And God will direct you. It's hard to direct a parked car. And so I know everyone has a gift. Everyone has something to bring. It's kind of like a potluck. Yes. Everyone has a dish to bring. So bring your dish. Bring your dish, whatever that looks like, and bring it to the table and see what God can do. Because, again, if everyone brings their dish to that potluck, it's amazing.
Yes.
It's incredible. So you may be thinking that, but I know God has something for you, and God has designed you for something. And we want to help you to really fulfill your God-given potential here at InspireChurch. So, let us know. Let me know. Let Henry know. And we'll get you plugged in and start serving.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely do that. And thank you, Randy, for the time. We appreciate you and Jocelyn so very much. You and the family, integral part of the church, of course. And we're just excited every time we see that truck moving. And we see lives change. Love seeing the people every single time we get to see outreaches going out there. And it's one of my favorite Instagram posts to watch, because I'm always like, man, look at us. We're doing what we got to do. Look at, not, that God's given us a charge to reach people, but we also are loving it. We're having so much fun, and people's lives are getting changed. So thank you for that, for being a part of that. Yeah.
Thank you.
And, especially for you, like Pastor Randy said, if you have ever thought about jumping in to any type of, whether it's ministry or any type of really an opportunity to serve somebody else, there's so many different options that you can take advantage of here at Inspire. You can do so, of course, through our online portal or our website. Find different ways that you can get involved with Inspire Outreach. You may not be able to be there in person, but there are ways that you can help support them. You can, of course, continue to give financially as well, but also you can even come alongside them in prayer and really support them in those ways. But also, as he was saying, on the same token, wherever you are locally, there's different ways that you can get involved with local nonprofit organizations, local churches who are also conducting outreach events in your city or state or even in your country. Take a moment throughout your day to really take a look and do some research. You can even contact us, email us at online@inspire.church. We'd love to help you find ways in your local area to really reach out and connect with somebody, or really just be a blessing in your community. And it doesn't stop here. It continues on through you. And of course, our vision is that you would also get inspired to really fulfill all the different things that God's called you within your area, within your influence, and within your community. All right. Well, thank you, Pastor Randy. That does it for today's Can We Talk episode. I hope you're encouraged by that. And of course, you get so much more episodes on our YouTube library. And of course, with every single one of our videos, I always want to invite you to watch our weekend services online if you're watching from outside of Oahu or on the mainland or overseas. And if you're on island, visit us here on any one of our Hawaii locations across. You can see our website, inspirechurchlive, for more information on those. And if you're in the Philippines, check us out in Metro Manila with those guys over there. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. We'll see you guys next time. Aloha.